extremely tousled. I've just got done wrestling the dog on the bed. She pinned my hair down and licked my face. I couldn't block, and when I finally did get my arm up, I actually put a kink in my neck. It kind of sucks. So, the chick from Full House and William H. Macy's wife and many, many, many other affluent people whose offspring were incapable of themselves earning their way into Ivy League colleges. And so their parents, rich who they were, paid for alterations of SATs and college entrance exams. Makes you wonder what else they paid for the alteration of. So think about it like this. How many people in unelected bureaucratic government positions, in research positions, fellowships and professors at universities, teachers at prominent schools? I mean, because seldom do you see an Ivy League accredited, graduate teaching 5th grade in Iowa, right? Like, you don't see that. And if you did, actually, it would probably be somebody who had legitimately earned their way into the college and actually earned their grades and actually learned their stuff, right? So this is what I'm getting at. Had a nice discussion with my wife earlier. How many people are graduates of that system of paid altered entrance exams, meaning incompetent students? Or as the meme says, I'm coming to realize that all of our Ivy League educational institutions, our elites, are full of rich dumbasses. So let's look at those CDC doctors. Where did they graduate from? How did they get through college? Are they offspring of rich people who were paid through doing bad science? Is that what's wrong? Well, what about, law enforcement? What about the DOJ? What about the FBI? What about all these people who were like, oh, but they're a lawyer. That guy's a constitutional scholar from Yale. Okay, but is he a rich dumbass that was pushed through? I think that if we were to get to the bottom of that, which maybe we will, maybe we won't, if we were to get through to the bottom of that, what we would end up finding is that the cause of so many of our problems in the world, of the seeming, what does the expression say? Do not, whose law was it? It's like Hague's Law or something like that. I can't remember. Anyways, this law was basically saying that do not, it's philosophical. It says do not misattribute to malice what could easily be explained by incompetence. So how many different places do we seem to have this like organized, malicious dumbassery, hurt people, not care, in the government and such? Look at the whole Q movement. Look at all this. There's a reason that people are behind that. It's because they're fucking tired of this shit. There's a reason people voted for Trump. They're fucking tired of this shit. There's a reason people fell for Bernie. They're fucking tired of this shit. So what if the shit that they're fucking tired of is caused by a bunch of rich, idiot assholes who got their ways paid through college? Now they have Ivy League degrees and walk around saying, look at me, I'm an expert. And all these other dumb motherfuckers cue any fucking conversation about the actual science of vaccination. How many people just trust an authority automatically because they're an authority? What if those authorities had their way through college paid and were not actually smart enough to handle the expertise that they claim to be an authority in? That's a what if that I want you to ponder. Because think about it. How many people? What about Peter Strzok? Huh? What if that guy is some rich douchebag's kid who's entitled and a piece of shit, and that's why he acted the way he did? I mean, my prime example of it would look at George W. Bush. Pardon me, I'm going to have to let the dog in. It's raining. George W. Bush was president. He was president because he was elected. He was elected because people knew him. People knew him because he was the governor of Texas. and I think he was part owner of a baseball team and an oil company. But he failed miserably at both of those. Why? Because when he went to the Ivy League school that gave him the credentials to be able to run for governor, his way was paid through, just like in every other instance of his life. And what you ended up with was an incompetent idiot who allowed things to happen to his country that was under his charge. I don't know that he necessarily plotted and planned 9/11 or the Patriot Act or any of that. I believe that was all written up, and I don't think he's capable of understanding really what he put into motion. So when you have incompetent people with misattributed, that's not the right word, give me a moment, fraudulently acquired credentials through dishonest means, what you have is dishonest, unintelligent people pushing clout that they didn't earn. And the actual real-world consequences of this are all around us. Look at every scientific institution. Let's find out how many people are the heads of those, how many people are the researchers, how many of those people are the administrators that had their way through college pushed through because they were not themselves actually capable. How many of those people are in our government? How many of those people are in our education system? How many of those people are now teaching at universities? Is it possible we have an emeritus professor of some topic at Harvard or Yale whose parents paid for his SATs to be fucked so that he could then get into the school, and then once he got in just managed to kind of scrape by, and they said, well, we're going to go ahead and make this alumnus our professor kind of thing? How many people teaching other people who have had their way paid in have had their way paid in? Now, if we could establish a number on that or a list of those people, then we could remove them from their positions in government or science or whatever. So then what would have to happen is we would have to raise generation upon generation of kids to want to be all of those things, but to have to strive to earn it, and only the ones who earn it would get in. Do you realize the difficulty of a 30-plus year plan like that just to fix the damage that's already been done? This would be why I am a proponent of the tar and feather response as well. Even though we may not be able to fix the problem, I think we could probably set examples for all of those who are continuing to make the problem. I think that we could unnerve them to the point that they would be exposed, and at that point could themselves be removed. I'm kind of getting the feeling that even our legal system is impacted by this. I think the laws that have been made, if you think about how boneheaded and obviously wrong and unconstitutional a lot of stuff is, if you're misattributing malice when in fact it's incompetence, and what this means is that boneheads have been writing the laws for too long. So anyways, this video is getting long. I'm going to let it upload now, but yeah, consider that. How many people have had their way into prestigious universities faked? How many people that could have earned their way in legitimately lost their place to those people? And how many of those people who unfairly were given a chance that they did not deserve then went on to prominent positions of power, authority, and expertise? And how much damage did those dumb motherfuckers cause by being incompetent the entire time? Those people, the people that accepted money to fudge the records, and the people who paid the money to fudge the records should all have hot tar poured on them and a fuckload of feathers dumped so that they are scarred for life and never, ever, ever forget what they